Great to see you.
Everyone good with the cameras? All right, start with a quick opening statement and jump right into questions.
Yeah, what an awesome time to be a Texas Tech Red Raider. I mean, just with all the excitement on campus and the momentum that we have going on in Lubbock, Texas is just phenomenal, and we're obviously excited about all the fall sports and excited about our basketball team and looking forward to our first game November the 4th. We've got a long way to go, but we've got newcomers that love hoops and love being here and are phenomenal teammates. So we're excited about it.
Could you give us a health report on the roster at this point?
Yeah. Well, what I will say, and I really don't want to go into specifics on personnel exactly, but I will say, that our hope is that we'll have our entire roster healthy by the first game. And so right now we're taking a real cautious approach with anybody that has anything that's even somewhere remotely, just because of how we finished the season last year and knowing how long the journey is. We're still practicing hard. We're still pursuing toughness and physicality every day, but anybody that has any sort of reason to not practice right now, we're being cautious. So everybody looks to be good to go for the first game, though.
Among the newcomers, is there any one of them that is maybe a little bit more advanced than you expected him to be at this point?
It is difficult. I was gone for majority of the summer, had an unbelievable opportunity with USA Basketball to win gold, and so we practiced at the end of July for the most part. I got a chance to really be around our team, and this fall already. I think when we looked at our roster and knowing that we need to have key contributions from Lawan Watts, Tyree Bryan, Donovan Atwell, Luke Bamboye, those guys we knew coming into this season we needed significant contributions from them in order for our team to be what they needed to be. I'll tell you, Josiah Mosley has made big strides. Nolan Groves and Jalen Petty have been awesome. And honestly, it's hard for me to even say one person that's really made a huge jump. I will tell you, being around Lawan Watts, his passion for this, his feel for the game, it just feels like his jump and being around him and how much he really wants to be great every day. I mean, in recruiting them that they have an impact possibility because of our position. He's such a versatile player that we felt like needed to be involved. But it doesn't mean that someone has the work ethic and the approach that matches that expectation. I will say his has, and he's just really lived it, and he doesn't just love it, he lives it every day. And it's been a joy to see him improve, and I think he'll have a great season.
With those 8 new guys you brought in, why specifically did you go the route you did with them, and where do you think your team overall got better with bringing those guys here?
Well, one, in the Big 12, and especially with Christian Anderson and JT Toppin back, 2 guys that I think are the best playmakers in the Big 12, you need to have guys that can score and have good feel and have character and want to win. And I think the key component to that was just finding guys that we felt like created space on the floor. Luke's vertical lob threat is another way to create space around the rim, but he's got a good feel and skill. I mean, he can make perimeter shots. So it's just a skilled group, but a competitive group that wants to win, and that was the focus, is how do we create space for these guys that we have returning so that we have opportunity to really put people in a tough position, and then knowing that we got to get better defensively and they care about winning, we could push them on that end to be better than what we were last year.
I know last season you put a lot of emphasis on how non-con needs to be competitive to get you ready for the Big 12. And with this season, you got Duke, Arkansas, LSU. Do you think you achieved the level of competitiveness for the Big 12 going forward?
Yeah, well, first of all, in the Big 12, going from 20 games to 18 games, we needed to add a couple of games that we knew would be significant, that matched the strength of schedule for our league. And then after that, I'm playing in the Metroplex, I think, is a big deal. And having an opportunity for just to have not only playing there but having quality opponents and then trying to create a home court, neutral court combination. We want to play games in the USA, and starting on the road at Illinois will give us the opportunity to have a home game. And then we've got some games contracted that we haven't been able to get to the table at home. So that's kind of the next step in this process. I think our strength of schedule is significantly better, but we want to improve the home court games here at the USA, and we'll be able to do that with the home and home series with Illinois.
Coach, in your recruiting phase, is there a certain phrase or maybe an answer to a question that helps you really identify that character you're looking for?
You know, these days in the recruiting process, it takes everybody to be on the same page. It's as significant as to find out who is in your corner that you love and are going to listen to, and do we all see it the same way? And then being as honest as we can in regards to what we feel like the improvement needs to be, and then the fit. Like, do the pieces fit, and how do we show everybody on the roster and how they fit, and maybe using a historical reference, or maybe it's just coming up with a new way schematically that we're going to show this is how you fit. So I think it's very intentional that we communicate clearly and honestly, just honestly we see the fit, and then does everybody agree on that? That's kind of been, so it's not really a phrase, it's more about the honesty approach of our expectation and how do we win a national championship together, but with the purpose of knowing, does everybody agree that this is what's best for you and allowing you to be the best player that you can be? And it's more not a phrase or a question or a statement, it's more an agreeance of everybody in the circle making sure that we agree on this is the best fit and how we all want to be the best we can be.
Coach, kind of building off of the non-conference schedule too, strength of schedule you said was important, but how much importance did you put on a variety of styles of different programs and how they play to get you more prepared for later down the line?
Well, I mean, we do a pretty extensive search on just making sure that we get the quality of opponent. We do look at style. I mean, it has to do with some of it, but honestly, we didn't try to necessarily match it with what we felt prepared us for our league, as much as we just wanted to play great teams in great environments that would push our team to a limit where we have to be at our best at all times. I mean, there's just an edge that you have to compete with in the Big 12, and everybody says it, but there are no nights off. And so how do you create that same intensity in the non-conference? So not necessarily style, but trying to figure out how we create, you know, as difficult of an opportunity as we can within reaching our fan base and playing in places that we feel like everybody would want to participate and be involved in, because, you know, the Red Raiders travel. And so finding great venues to play in was probably as important as finding the right opponent.
And then a lot's been said in the offseason about Anderson's growth. There's been a lot of hype around him and playing for Team Germany. What's the biggest thing that you've noticed, though, kind of heading into practices here, that he's jumped in as he heads into more of an on-ball role where he's going to have a lot more ball handling responsibilities?
Yeah, you know, I don't know of a guy who has the work ethic, confidence, feel for the game, the way he embraces big moments, the way he handles adverse situations. I mean, he just got it all. And the one thing that I don't think has been communicated enough is just how physical and how strong he is and how athletic he is right now. I mean, he's legit 6'3". I mean, he's not 6'1 and a half, 6'2". He's legit 6'3", and he's physical and he's athletic. I mean, I know everybody saw the highlight of him against Slovenia when they were playing against Luka and the German national team with grown men and NBA players, and his athleticism popped. You know, I mean, that's one thing about Christian that's, I think he's improved, is he's just got more, he's got more explosiveness to the way he's moving, and he's big, you know, and at that point guard spot, if you can apply physicality and be explosive and score the way he does from distance, I mean, he just really has all the tools, and I think legit he's one of the best guards in the country. I really do. And it's his competitiveness and his character that separates him. It's just for anybody to say that he's a smaller guard, I think they're mistaken. When you see him play this year and you see him play on the national stage like I saw this summer, I mean, he's as good and as big and as physical and as fast and as athletic as anybody that I've seen. And so I'm really excited about his future, and really a lot of it has to do with his character and his approach of how he competes every day.
Y'all brought in Latrell Hoover late in the year. What, besides his size, what does he bring to the team?
Hey, I'll tell you, I probably should have said this earlier, but if you ask me one person that's been probably the most pleasant surprise, it's been Latrell Hoover. And we've thrown him in practices right away, and like I said earlier, we're taking a cautious approach with a few of our guys, and so we put him right in the middle of practice. And man, he's huge. I mean, he's big. He's legit 6'10 and a half, 6'11". He's 7+ wingspan. He's got big hands. He's been well coached. Came from some great programs, played for an unbelievable summer program and with the future. He just has really good instincts and space awareness for a big guy with his athleticism. I mean, we put him in guard drills where he's moving laterally, guarding the ball, and he moves as good as anybody on our team. I'm serious. It's unbelievable how the upside that he has. He just doesn't have enough experience because he just basically started playing in the 10th grade. He's a late starter, but he's a blank canvas too, in that if you tell him something, he's able to do it. And that's very rare. He's very clear-eyed. He's very bright and intelligent, and he picks things up quickly, and he tries to do it, and he comes from a tremendous family. I'm telling you, that one's going to be special. And I don't know if it'll be this year, because we're gonna make sure and honor him and make sure that we play him and give him a full season. But we're going to play him in these scrimmages and see how he does, because he's got real upside, and I think he's going to be a special player as a Red Raider.
Then what all went into bringing Todrick back on the coaching staff?
Yeah, well, I've been around Todrick, and when we recruited him previously at other schools I've been at, got to know his family, watched him as a player at Texas Tech. But I really started to get to know him when we did the TBT team that came back the first summer I was here, and got to see him on an everyday basis. And that team had a lot of talent. Final Four players that played in the national championship game, guys in that have been the best players to play at Tech were all on that team. But his heart to do whatever it took to help was always stood out to me. And he had an opportunity to play another season professionally. It would have been his 10th season, and he had contract offers of 6 figures that he could have went and played. And in the communication with him toward the end of summer as we went forward, I really wanted someone not only that just loved this place. That wasn't it. I mean, not to say that wasn't important. I think that was all bonus. Honestly, it's his approach. He came and played with our guys a few times, and his heart to try to help, and his heart to want to learn. And he was pursuing being an agent, and he was asking all the right questions. And as he asked all the right questions, everybody wants a job. Everybody I run into wants a job. So I'll go on, it'll be fun because I'll be anywhere at a restaurant, and they'll be like, hey, if you ever have a job open on your staff, I'm like, there are qualifications. Todrick really never reached out to me trying to get a job. He was asking how he can get better, and then he was just around trying to help our team, and he would play pickup with them. And I really just, honestly, he's brilliant. He's going to be an unbelievable coach, but it's his heart that he loves being a Red Raider, but he, more importantly, just really wants to help any way he can. That, honestly, is the part of it that I feel like separates him and will allow him to be, I think, a phenomenal coach and eventually a really good head coach. And, man, I'm so glad he's here. And he can still play, too. But he chose not to be a part of this. And his wife and kids are awesome, too, and they've always lived in Lubbock, so it just was a seamless transition, and really glad to have him on our team and in our program.
Where do you see the freshman fitting into your rotation plans as of now? Obviously, that'll change, but as of now, who do you see contributing immediately? Who do you kind of hope fills in those roles?
Yeah, well, two guys that were on the team last year, one Jazz who didn't get to play. He's been awesome in practice. Leon, I think, has made a big jump. He's physical, and he's scoring in a lot of different ways. So those two guys will be fun to see that played, that returned. But I think specifically, Mariel is to be determined just because we're trying to help him get back on the floor because he did take some time off this spring, and we've had him in and out of practices just to make sure we're ramping him toward the season appropriately. Nolan Groves is going to play, and Jalen Petty, they're going to play. Now, I don't know how much right now just because we've been in practice. I think both those guys could make significant impacts. They have the right approach. They can guard. They can both score. I mean, Nolan averaged 30 a game and was the Minnesota Player of the Year. I mean, honestly, he's physical and he's got a good feel. Jalen Petty has a really high ceiling. I could see him having a similar impact that Christian Anderson had as a freshman. And that's saying a lot, as we all know, because Christian was on the all-freshman team. Both those guys, I think, will make significant impacts on our team, and I could see them being in the rotation firmly. And just depending on how much we continue to improve and how we are health-wise, I would see both those guys playing.
You mentioned Leon last year when he did have some injuries to big guys. You kind of had to slide him into a big man role. Probably won't have to do that this year. No. But what are you looking for out of him to make that leap to become a rotational piece for you?
Yeah, well, I think what he's leaned into in practices is he's just super aggressive in all the physical, intangible ways. He's rebounding, he's offensive rebounding, he's scoring in transition, he's getting paint, he's making the simple play, and when he's open from three, he's making them. He's putting his nose in the middle of all the situations. But we all know the area that we needed to improve off of last year is how do we get better defensively? How do we guard the ball? How do we have a presence on that end that knows what we want? And so that's been my challenge to Leon is like, how do you keep making steps defensively from a physical standpoint? Because he was with us last year. And to me, we had a top 5 offense and we had a top 30 defense, and we need to be top 5 in both if we're going to have the chance to do what we want to do. And so I would love to see Leon continue to make steps in that direction. So in all those games, because I do think he can score, how do we put him in there and he can provide some physicality and toughness defensively to give us an edge on that end?
And obviously we know what JT did last year. What is the next thing he needs to kind of do to take that next step? Has it become a little bit better in his perimeter game, whether that's shot making or shot creating for others?
Yeah, well, I think the first thing JT needs to do in order to improve is to get better defensively where he's guarding multiple actions and he's not just guarding maybe someone with some size. And because we do have good size on this team, with Luke and Mariel and Latrell, I mean, we can slide him all over the place. And defensively, just his awareness to – and I'll tell you what, he's I don't know, maybe 12 pounds heavier and stronger. You'll see him. He's way more comfortable. We had an NBA scout in today, and he was like, man, has JT's ball handling improved? And he's worked on it all summer. His first step, his decision making. He always has been a great passer. That's the part that I've said multiple times is the most underrated part of his game. He's such a willing passer. I mean, the first time somebody's open, he passes the ball. So he's not selfish at all. He's actually very unselfish as a player. But where I think he's made the biggest jump in watching him, he's just more comfortable handling the ball and not feeling like every time he catches on the perimeter, he has to prove he can shoot a three. I mean, that's kind of where guys that are used to playing around the basket, every time they catch it on the perimeter, they just think, if I can shoot a three and show everybody I can do this. And no, he's a really good basketball player. And he can beat you off the bounce from the perimeter, and I think where he's improved is just his decision-making all over the floor, and I'm really excited for him to compete because I think he's just as versatile as anybody in the country, and with the guys that we have around him that can shoot, he knows he doesn't have to go down there and take over a game by himself. He can let the game come to him. But two areas. One is His activity defensively has gotten better. His ball handling has gotten better. And then I think his body has improved in such a way that he can deliver blows on offense and defense without giving up ground, which at times last year I thought physically wasn't what he needed to be. This year I feel like he's moving in the right direction, and I think everybody will see a more polished player from a playmaking and decision-making standpoint from all over the floor, not just in the post. Awesome. Thank y'all. Good to be back.